1.1 Real numbers and number operations. Whole numbers or natural numbers, normal ones like these. Integers are negative and normal numbers. Rational numbers are every single type of number, except square roots and pi. 0 is always the origin. Graphing numbers on a number line. Negative 4/3, square root 2, and 2.7. Okay, negative 4/3 would be negative 1/3, and that would equal to negative 1.3 infinite. Square root 2 would be 1.444. 2.7 would just be 2.7. Negative 4/3 would be right here. Square root 2 would be right here. And 2.7 would be like right here. Oop. Okay, now let's graph this. 0.1 be here. That's 0.1. Negative 2/5 will be in the middle. Negative 3 and negative 2. 2.3 will be like right here. Oop. This property would be like this. And the identity of multiplication would be 11 times 1. Or like anything times 1. The opposite would be the complete opposite. Like 1 equals negative 1. Negative 1 would be 1. 3/4 would be negative 3/4. Like these examples right here. Now let's do these examples. Feel free to pause the video. Well, remember that positive is always bigger than negative. So that would be 1/2. This would be 4, because 3/4 is 0.075. 2.3 would be, 3 would be your answer. Square root 3, because positive is always bigger. 0, because the negative is on the outside, so it will be a negative something. Negative 9/4 would be negative 2.5. So negative 9/4 would be bigger. 6 and 7 were the exact same thing. Negative 3/2 would be negative 1.5. Negative 11/3 would be negative 3/6 infinite. So the answer would be negative 3/2. Okay, let's move on. So we're going to number this least to greatest. So negative 1/2 would be negative 0.5, and there will be a 2. 13/4 would be 3.25. Negative 3 would be negative 3. Negative 6 would be negative 6. Okay, let's order this. Negative 6 would go first, because in the number line, the biggest negative is always left. Negative 3 would be next. Negative 1/2. Then 2. And 13/4. You always have to write it from the top. Square root 15 will be like 3.85. I'm just estimating. Negative 4. You cannot simplify negative 2/9. That would be negative 0.2 infinite. The final answer is still correct though. And negative 1.6. First would be negative 4. Next would be negative 1.6. Then negative 2/9. And then last but not least, square root of 15. These would be your answers for 10 and 11.